All right. We're going to look at a little red gold here today on the Bayou Gold Guy because we have a sale on top sirloin, $3.99 a pound. So I had them cut me about a 2.5 inch, closer to 3 inch sirloin, but they were big sirloins. So I ended up getting one. This is about 5.25 pounds. So you may ask, Bayou Gold Guy, how the hell do you cook a 5.25 pound steak on the grill? Well, that's it. You start with salting it down. Add the garlic powder, generous amount of garlic powder over it, especially when you've got 3 inches thick of meat and you want to always get all the sides. And put a good layer on top. Also like to use some onion powder on this. Makes it the most flavorful. Hit it all the sides around. Then a nice amount of the classic accent, which this is just MSG, but it really kicks up the flavor of the steak a notch. I know some people have issues with MSG. I am not one of them. So we put a good amount, and that's why I use a little less salt. You saw I didn't put a whole lot of salt on it because this does have a saltiness to it. And then they say it's best not to grill with black pepper because black pepper wants to burn. But I usually use some of this. If you haven't ever had any of this ground white pepper, this is one of the main secret ingredients of Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe. And it's really a different kind of pepper, and it's very good. It's kind of pricey, but it's worth it to have some to use. And you douse that down, and I've noticed it doesn't get that harsh, that little bit of a scorch quality to it off the black pepper. And then the main ingredient is the classic that I've had my dad use when I was a kid, and I've still always used it, is the Italian dressing. There's the regular Wishbone. I don't like any other brand other than the Wishbone flavor. And you douse that down real good on top. I'm almost out of this bottle, but we got enough for this steak here. And go ahead and rub it down all the way around the sides. And let's see, where's my utensil? And then I like to go through and just make sure it kind of, on these thick steaks especially, you can see this is really tender. I said this is a top sirloin, $3.99 a pound. This steak here looks like this would normally be about a $60 or $70 steak, I guess. $21. And yeah, usually it'd be it'd be a $50 or $60 steak because it's rarely below $10 a pound regularly. So I wasn't planning on having one this large, but that way it gives a little bit of a tenderizing, but it also injects that marinade down into that, deeper into that meat good. Flip it over, repeat the process, and then let it, on this one, normally I let it sit for about an hour. On this thick one, it'll be about an hour and a half. And then we'll have the baked potato going and time it so that it comes off the grill at the right time. So we'll be back on the grill. All right, let's get this beast moving. We've got the old Brinkman grill here. I'd put it in my shed during Hurricane Ida to protect it, and the damn shed fell down on top of it. So it's held together now with basically foil along a little bit of metal edge that's still left behind it. But yeah, I need a new grill, but I've always loved my Brinkmans, and you can't buy them anymore. So one of the main things about using this marinade on these steaks is not. I've had people that used it before that I'd recommend it, but they would marinate it more after it was on the grill. And that's one thing you do not want to do. You just want to marinate it and let it set for, like I said, an hour and a half, and then you put it on the grill and you cook it. You do not marinate it through grilling anymore, because you do not want it to taste like Italian dressing, and it definitely will if you do that. This stuff, when you do it this way, it just enhances the flavor of the meat without really changing it. So we're going to let this cook for probably about 10 minutes on this side, 10 to 12 minutes on this side, and then maybe about 8 minutes on the other side, because I like it to be right at the rare and medium rare stage on these thick babies. So we'll be back on it. All right, we've got our first flip on our steak. Nice little bit of char on there. We had a little bit of flaring up, so, but I always that's good. It gets a little crusty on it. So now we're gonna let it cook on this side for about another 10 minutes. The fire's coals have gone down a little bit, so we'll get a little more heat going through it, and it'll kind of meet in the center there to get us that perfect medium rare side. Yeah, that's a beaut. All right, well, we've had a little bit of flame going underneath it for a while here on the back side, so I think normally a piece this big, I'd flip again just like that, and let that first side that kind of charred when the fire was hottest, let it kind of cook through a little bit more on that first side, just so you know. And we don't want it raw. I mean, there's a difference between raw and rare, and I mean, make no doubt, I've sliced off some nice little sections off the side there whenever it was marinating, and had me some raw steak tartare there style with just the Italian dressing on. It's very good when you get a good cut of meat. You can do that and eat raw steak. I mean, if it's like I said, it's very tasty, but we don't want that. But I think with the I think we're hot enough through this now that it's ready to come off the grill, and let it stand for a few moments, and then slice it up and see what it looks like inside. Oh, here we are with our side of beef, ready to slice in and see how our cook came out here. So we'll start on this thicker side over here, and well, actually, if you see there on this thicker side, we're actually pretty much a solid medium. Our looks like our flare up cooked it through a little more than I thought it did. I saw a little bit of fire in there and checked, but we're still at a very solid medium rare to medium, on the medium side rather than the rare side. So very, very delectable. Let's check our other side here. Nice layer of fat on this side. Now one side of the charcoal might have stayed a little bit hotter than the other, but that'll be a nice chewy fatty side there. So yeah, we're pretty much the same. It's a solid medium rare and a medium on the medium side all the way around. But nice, very tender. I know people like there were ribeyes that were there for $25 that weighed 1.5 pounds versus my very tender. Oh, I wish y'all could experience some of that. That is some choice stuff. And yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of gristle in these sirloins like this, but like I said, for the flavor of the beef, and whenever I get a T-bone or a porterhouse on sale, I have them cut me one of those this thick too, and That's whenever I have people stop me in the store asking, what do you have there? So it is a nice chunk of fat. Just like our gold, nothing left behind, nothing goes to waste. So, excuse me. All right, that's very impolite eating in front of people. But there we have it. And the old Brinkman's still putting out some nice. I mean, that handle of 5. Like I said, I should have pulled it off about 3-4 minutes sooner, and I would have been that a little bit deeper red on the rare side of medium rare. But this is going to be great. I'll get at least 5 pounds. I'll get at least 3 meals out of this, because I usually go about a pound to a pound and a half at a time minimum. So, all right, my friends. We'll back to gold soon. This, like I said, this is some red gold tonight here down on the bayou. Beautiful, balmy night here in January. Thank you for tuning in. And bon appetit, my friends.